one thing you can do, and I would strongly encourage you do it. Many will already have sent in emails about the motions that we've had last week and this week. I would encourage people to write in about Mazen's father, Zach. Many of us who protested for Palestine over the years know Zach very, very well. He's a friend and he's a comrade. He would have been here on many protests over many, many years, and we owe it to him to do everything we can to bring him back from the slaughter that is being threatened on him and indeed all of those people in Gaza. So I would encourage you to write emails to your local TDs and to government ministers, and particularly Micheál Martin, the Foreign Affairs Minister, demanding... Yeah, I know. Listen, I think we all agree on the shameful propaganda tour that he was participated in with Netanyahu. But nonetheless, we have to put pressure on him to ensure that Zach and other Irish citizens are returned home and are allowed leave from Gaza. When they talk about hostages, let's remember Israel is holding Irish citizens hostage, and they are holding 2.3 million Palestinians hostage in Gaza, and they have been holding them hostage for 16 years with that criminal and illegal siege. And the hypocrisy of the Western governments, much of the media, Israel, when they talk about hostages, and of course nobody likes the idea of hostages being taken, but the people who instigated hostage taking were the Israelis. 2.3 million people in prison for 16 years, thousands and thousands of Palestinians on the West Bank long before October the 7th, hostages under the system of administrative detention, including hundreds of children, hundreds of women, and many thousands of others who'd done nothing at all, who've had no trial, had no charges put against them, but are in effect hostages. But isn't it interesting in the narrative that we hear even today from the government in the debate, when Hamas take people, they're hostages, but when Israel take them, they're prisoners. And that is the sort of double standard that has to be challenged. I do want to say just a word about what's happening in here tonight so people know. The motion has been debated this morning. The government have put down a counter motion. It's a disgraceful counter motion. Our motion called for there to be full and comprehensive sanctions imposed on Netanyahu, on all his government ministers, on all military personnel associated, and all of their ambassadors.
We say yes. 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 We say yes.
We say yes.
So that is what has to happen. It also demanded that while this slaughter continues, and indeed while the regime of apartheid and ethnic cleansing and illegal occupation continue, all of which long predate, decades predate the brutal slaughter we have seen in Gaza and the events of October the 7th, that US military who have supported Netanyahu and the war criminals in the Israeli regime, the US military should not be allowed to use Shannon airport to transport their troops or their materials. US military! US military! US military! US military! US U.S. military! U.S. military! U.S. military! U.S. military! The last point I just want to make about the motion, there's a lot in it, people may have read it, but I do want to emphasise it because it's important. We are all relieved, and I'm sure the people of Gaza, most importantly, who've suffered the slaughter and massacre inflicted on them over the last 4 or 5 weeks, are relieved to have some temporary respite from the murderous bombardment by Israel of Gaza. But the Israeli government have made absolutely clear that as soon as this so-called truce expires, they are going to resume the war and the slaughter, and they have made very, very publicly clear that their intention is to ethnically cleanse Gaza. And that is a plan that we all know, but the government and Western governments refuse to admit also long predates October the 7th. They are out to ethnically cleanse the West Bank, to ethnically cleanse Gaza, to destroy the Palestinian people, and to commit genocide. That is what they are doing. And it's not just us who are saying it, it is the Israeli government have said it. We saw ministers this week saying, the Deputy Speaker of the Israeli Parliament said publicly that Israel was being, quote, too humane in Gaza. We must burn it. Now, shame, 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 shame. But the point I want to make to you in this regard, okay, is this. The Irish government, and this hasn't, it's in the motion, we put it to the government today, but this hasn't come up, and I think all of us need to understand it. We have 4 or 5 days to stop the resumption of this slaughter. And what we have said to the government is it's not a matter of choice for them. They signed a convention, ironically dated 1948, the year of the Nakba against the Palestinian people, where that convention requires all 154 nation states who are signatories to do all in their power to prevent the commission of genocide, to take every action available to them to prevent genocide. And I want people to understand this, because a lot of the talk has been about taking Israel to the ICC to punish them for war crimes and crimes against humanity. But we don't want them just punished. Of course we want them punished for the crimes that we are committed. But we want the Irish government, along with other Western governments, to discharge their legal responsibility to prevent a genocide. Not to punish it after the fact, to prevent it. And there is not a shadow of a doubt that if sanctions are imposed, if arms embargoes are imposed, if ambassadors are expelled, like South Africa did yesterday, a country who understands apartheid, these are the sorts of measures that can deter Israel from resuming the genocide. So we demand that the government discharge their responsibility. So albeit there's a truce, worse is to come unless we stop this slaughter. So we mustn't stop the protests. If anything, we have to build and escalate the protests from here. So I want to say, next Wednesday is the International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinian people. Now that Wednesday, there is a call in this country and across the world for mass walkouts of colleges and of workplaces. Now that's a big thing to achieve. That is I don't want to underestimate. You have got to do a lot to make that happen. You've got to talk to people in your college, in your school, and in your workplace, and convince them to do a walkout, even if it's a lunchtime thing. But if we can have hundreds or thousands of workplaces, of colleges, of communities walking out next Wednesday, and that was happening as it is being planned in other countries, that would be a very, very powerful statement that could put real fear into our government, to put the pressure on them necessary to bring Zach back, to bring the Irish citizens back, and to do everything in their power to stop the resumption of the genocide. So I appeal to you, after tonight, there are more protests at the weekend in localities all across the country, but next Wednesday, the 29th, we need a massive walkout everywhere and anywhere we can organise it, and you have to be the organisers for that. So I urge you to do that. Finally, and I said finally once already, so apologies, the vote is going to be probably about 9:15 or 9:20. You have done a fantastic job, and I want to thank Ella Nassib in particular for organising a massive email campaign. Thousands and thousands of emails pouring into the mailboxes of TDs. I can't see Ella, but well done to her. But at the moment, the government are suggesting they're not going to vote for our motion, which is an absolute disgrace. But what I want you to do is not give up hope. They are under pressure. They are very, very worried about the scale of protests, but they are hoping the protests will die down, and we have to make sure they don't, but they escalate. So please keep up the fight, keep up the pressure. Free, free! Palestine! Free, free! Palestine! Free, free! Palestine!